Hi, hello, and welcome back to another one of my videos. My name is Osauce, and today we are going to be talking about the tank class in Hypixel Skyblock. I am going to show you the best builds as an early game, a mid game, a late game, and an end game player. Because all the videos that I've seen are all about this is the best, that is the best, not what is the best for the certain price that you have. This video is really for the people that only have 500k to spend, or only have 5 million coins to spend, and don't have 50 million coins to spend on a thing. Because most people don't have 50 million coins to spend on. Hey, you. Yes, you over there. If this video helped you in any way and you want to make me happy, I highly recommend subscribing and or liking the video. If you have any questions about the video or any comments, comment them down in the comment section. And if you want to talk to me, you can find me on my Discord, link is in the description. That's all, back to the video. Okay, so let's start off with early game. As I've talked about in some of my previous class build videos, early game players just don't have the money, and they don't have the stats, and they don't have the fairy souls that are required in order to play dungeons without getting shredded as soon as you walk into a room. So, my advice to you early game players is, there is so much stuff to explore in Hypixel Skyblock before you get to dungeons. So just go do those things, and then come back later when you have your fairy souls, when you have some farming levels, when you have some combat levels, when you have some foraging levels, and you'll have much more fun playing the game. Next up, mid-game. Now this is the first stage of the game where you can really start playing the tank class because there are some weapons and items that you can use and that work well. For your mid-game armor, I would go for a full reinforced rare heavy set. So the base armor is heavy armor, and heavy armor is kind of like the first tier of tank armor that you can get from dungeons. It's a drop from the tank zombies, I'm pretty sure, and it's definitely geared toward tanks. If we look at the stats here, while in dungeons, plus 126 health, plus 250 defense, and minus 5 speed. Now, what reinforced is, it's kind of also the first tier of defense reforged stones. And you can just get it from mining diamonds in the deep caverns. It's really easy to get a ton of these, or you can just buy them off auction. I bought 4 for like 20k coins, they go for 5k each. If you didn't know, the way that you can apply reforged stones to weapons, or armor, or whatever, you go to Malik, you click on Advanced Reforging, put this in one, put the diamond in the other, and reforge. Now, this full, just like base tier, reinforced heavy armor will give like 1,200 defense, which is really good. If I were to just put on like, I don't know, strong armor, you can see that I have 664. So just with that bottom tier heavy armor, you get twice as much defense. Really great for tanks. Now as for your weapon, there are not any really tank-specific weapons that you can buy this early in the game. So we're just going to go with like a berserker weapon. A decent weapon if you don't have a high catacombs level and you're just looking for something that's going to do damage is a zombie soldier cutlass. Now this one is epic, and I bought it at Epic for like 100k coins, and now they're selling for like 1 million coins, and I have no clue why that is, but the rare ones are still super cheap. You can pick one up for like 20k coins. So that's it for your weapon. And if you want to know why the zombie soldier cutlass is like a not bad of a weapon for an early game or mid game player, you can check out my video on it. Link is in the description. Weapons and armor are not the only two things that you're going to need in dungeons. You need healing, you need pets, you need stuff like that. So, as a mid-game player, there are 2 healing items that I recommend you get. The first one is a Wand of Healing, and you can get this at Revenant 1. So easy. And the second thing is a Radiant Power, or a bit harder to get. You get it at Spend 2, still really easy to get. And as for a mid-game pet, I recommend getting a common rock. Yes, a common rock. So the reason why I would choose a common rock is because most of the abilities on the rock are pretty much useless, and the common rock has the same base stats as the rare rock. So for a common rock, you just have to mine, I don't know how many ores, but just go and mine some ores and you'll have yourself a common rock. I would not recommend buying this common rock because common rocks cost 350k coins. Another item that you should consider getting for all of the tank builds is the item Jingle Bells, and there's two ways you can get this item. The first way is by finishing the 4th part of the chicken race at Jerry Island or whatever, and the other way is just buying it. So if you're just bad at chicken racing, then you can just buy it. It costs like 80k coins. Or if you're good at chicken racing, you can just get it that way. And basically what this item does is it will attract enemies to you. And that might seem like super stupid, right? Except point of the tank is to absorb damage so your other more DPS strong classes can just attack while you take all of the damage. For your late game armor, I would just go ahead and wait until you get Catacombs level 15. Because at Catacombs 15, you can get the super heavy armor. Now, super heavy armor is like the better version of the rare armor. You can see that the set bonus is that each piece of this armor reduces the cooldown of Seismic Wave by 5 seconds. That means it'll reduce by 25 seconds. That means you can do Seismic Wave a considerably bit more. And the second part is you can get the legendary version of it for full set about 7 million coins, which is super good when compared to other late game sets that you might get for dungeons such as Perfect Tier 12, which costs like 20 million coins. So this set is much better, and it costs much less. And when you have this full set equipped, you can get like 2,000 defense. As a late game player, there are many different types of late game players, so you might want to end up upgrading your armor with some other stuff that late game players can get, such as hot potato booking your armor, which will cost about 2.8 million coins, putting diamond atoms on all your armor, which will cost about 4 million coins, and 5-starring your armor, which is probably the best thing to do, and it costs a lot of undead essence. And as for your weapon, I would go with a spirit sword, and the reason why I would choose the spirit sword is because, well, it's a great berserker weapon, and most berserker weapons are also great tank weapons because there aren't very many tank-specific weapons. I'm not going to choose the Earth Shard for the late game build because you need Catacombs level 19, and if you have Catacombs level 19, you're most likely going to be Endgame. And for your miscellaneous section, you're probably going to end up wanting a Mana Flux, which, I mean, it's not too hard to get, but it's definitely a bit of a grind. It took me about 4 hours of grinding to get Sven 6 so I can get the Mana Flux. And for a late game pet, I would actually go for an Epic Turtle, and these are going to cost around 1.4 million coins, which just add a little bit to the cost of your late game build, but most late game players should be able to afford this. Now, for the endgame sets, this endgame that I'm going to talk about is an endgame that I don't know if anyone's actually reached yet, because in order to have this set, you're going to need Catacombs level 30, which is very hard to get because Catacombs level scales like skills level. It gets harder the more levels you do. Because Perfect Tier 12, when dungeonized, has a Catacombs level 30 requirement. And Perfect Tier 12 dungeonized is probably, unless they release some, like, a tank set boss or whatever, it's probably going to be the best set for tank in dungeons that there is. I mean, like, you could get probably... each piece gives you 1,000 defense, basically. So, that means that you could probably end up getting 4,000 defense, which is a lot of defense. And for your weapon, I would go with a maxed Earth Shard, you know, all the max stuff, Tier 6 Enchants, Recombobulated, Combo 5. And for your endgame miscellaneous, well, I would have an Overflux, I would have Jingle Bells, I would also have Legendary Turtle Pet. Now, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of debate about what the best pet is for tanks in dungeons. Some people say it's the blue whale, some people say it's the turtle. And that's pretty much going to be it for this video. If you would like to check out some of my other class build videos, links are in the description. So far, I have done the mage and berserker and now tank builds, so if you are any of those and you're looking for a little bit of help on what to get, go check out those videos. Anyway, with that out of the way, I have nothing more to say. See ya!